All right, so today we're going on a bit of a deep dive.
A deep dive.
Yeah,
Wow.
into a really fascinating pinball machine. And we talk a lot about pinball.
We do love our pinball.
We do. And this one's a really interesting one because it's got this unique theme. It's not your typical superheroes or sci-fi.
Right.
It's called Riverboat Gambler.
Okay, interesting.
And it was released back in 1990 by Williams. The pinball giant.
Oh yeah, Williams, big name.
So just imagine, you're walking into an arcade.
Love that sound.
And you hear that classic casino sound, those chips clinking, and kind of a hint of that New Orleans jazz in the background.
It's just the mood.
And you're looking at this pinball machine, and it's all decked out like a Mississippi riverboat.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
So what we want to do today is really kind of dig into what made Riverboat Gambler special, and uncover some of those cool little hidden gems that maybe you wouldn't notice at first glance.
I love them.
So first off, you mentioned the theme, that riverboat casino vibe. Yeah. What struck me is that was kind of an unusual choice back in 1990 for pinball.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, back then it was all about those movie tie-ins. Back to the Future, Terminator 2.
Yeah, huge blockbusters.
Exactly. So to see a machine going for this, classic casino aesthetic, it definitely stood out.
It wasn't, aliens and spaceships. It was this whole different kind of excitement. It was tapping into that timeless allure of, chance and fortune.
The risk's the reward.
Yeah, and the people behind this vision, their designers, were John Norris and Python Anguilla.
Oh, interesting combo.
Yeah, and I always find it fascinating to think about these design partnerships. How did their individual styles come together to create something unique?
Yeah, well, thinking about Anguilla, I mean, his work always had a real strong visual flair. His playfields were always super distinctive. The artwork just popped.
Yeah, his layouts are iconic.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got Norris, who was really known for pushing the boundaries of gameplay, coming up with these innovative rule sets and ways to really engage the player.
So you can see both of those elements in Riverboat Gambler for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, the playfield is definitely eye-catching, visually striking.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also the way they integrated those casino mechanics that really elevates it beyond just your typical pinball experience.
And visually, I mean, it really grabs you right away.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, exploding with lights, which is classic for that era. But then you've got these key elements that just scream casino.
Okay. Yeah.
Like right at the top of the playfield, there's this mechanical roulette wheel.
Not just a graphic.
No, it's a real working roulette wheel.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, that's pretty unique for a pinball machine.
Yeah, it's not something you see every day.
And it introduces this genuine element of chance into the game, right?
Oh, for sure. It's like, hitting a ramp or a target that can practice, that you can get good at it. But with the roulette wheel, it's completely random.
Right. You're at the mercy of the spin.
Exactly. It adds a whole new layer of unpredictability to the game.
Yeah, and it really impacts the gameplay too, depending on where that ball lands on the roulette wheel.
Yeah.
It can trigger different things.
Different bonuses, different challenges.
Exactly. And then right in the middle of the playfield, you've got these poker cards.
Okay.
And they light up as you hit certain shot combinations.
So you're building poker hands while you're playing.
Yeah, it's more than just hitting targets and racking up points. You're actually trying to achieve something strategic within the game.
I like that. A game within a game.
Yeah. And so, you might be aiming for specific targets in a certain order to try and light up, the King of Hearts or the Ace of Spades. And then if you get a full hand, like a royal flush or something.
A big bonus.
Yeah, exactly. You might trigger a special mode or, advance further in the game.
So it rewards players who are paying attention and thinking ahead.
Yeah, it's this really cool blend of pinball skill and poker strategy.
Love it.
And then speaking of big rewards, one of the big draws of Riverboat Gambler was the progressive jackpot.
Oh yeah, the jackpot.
So this wasn't just a fixed score. It would actually increase as more people played the machine.
Okay.
So with a bit of skill and definitely a lot of luck, you could potentially walk away with a massive point payout.
Wow. So it really taps into that classic gambling thrill.
It does, yeah. That idea that, the pot's getting bigger and bigger and you could be the one to hit it.
Adds to the excitement.
And for players who, love that fast-paced pinball action, Riverboat Gambler also had multi-ball.
Oh yeah, a multi-ball classic.
So, getting multiple balls in play at once, it's always chaotic. It's always fun.
Yeah, ramps lit up everywhere.
And it's a great way to rack up those high scores quickly.
You know what I love about multi-ball is that it often comes with these, increased scoring multipliers, or it unlocks special modes.
Oh, yeah.
So it gives you even more opportunities to interact with those casino-themed features, really boost your score.
And it rewards skillful play, too, because, the more balls you can keep in play, the more you can take advantage of those bonuses.
Exactly.
So basically, the main goal of Riverboat Gambler was to, navigate that playfield, hit those targets, engage with the poker and the roulette elements, and just try and rack up as many points as possible.
Yeah, it sounds like a really unique blend of, physical pinball skill and that strategic chance-based element of casino games.
It's more than just, keeping the ball alive. It's about making strategic choices as you play.
I think that's what's so cool about it, is that it appeals to different types of players.
Yeah.
You've got your pinball purist who loves just the skill of controlling the ball.
Yeah.
But then you might also have someone who's more drawn to the strategy and the luck involved in casino games.
Right.
And this machine kind of brings those two worlds together.
And it's interesting, looking back at its reception when it was first released in 1990.
Okay.
It definitely caught people's attention.
Yeah.
You couldn't ignore a pinball machine that was decked out like a riverboat casino.
It's visually striking.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it came out around the same time as some really major pinball releases.
Oh yeah, that was a big year for pinball.
Yeah, you had the Addams Family, you had Terminator 2.
Those are giants.
Exactly, and those were based on huge blockbuster movies.
Huge fan bases.
So they had this built-in audience, right out of the gate.
Ready to play.
And Riverboat Gambler, for all its originality, it didn't have that same level of immediate recognition.
Right.
But fast forward to today, and it's really interesting how the story of Riverboat Gambler has evolved.
Okay.
Because it's become this highly sought after collector's item.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And why do you think that is?
I think a lot of times you see that shift happen with games that have, a unique blend of artistic merit and mechanical innovation.
Okay.
And Riverboat Gambler has both of those things in spades.
Yeah. I mean, the artwork is fantastic.
Oh, it's beautiful. Captures that whole riverboat feel perfectly.
Yeah. And the way they integrated those casino games was genuinely innovative for the time.
Way ahead of its time.
And finding one of these machines in good working condition today is pretty challenging.
Oh, I bet.
Which, only adds to its rarity and its desirability among collectors.
Scarcity always drives up the value.
It does. It's like a treasure hunt, trying to find that pristine Riverboat Gambler.
Yeah, makes it even more special when you do find one.
And it's also important to remember where Riverboat Gambler sits in Williams' timeline.
Okay.
It was one of their last machines before they really started to embrace those digital displays. The DMD screen.
Yeah, the dot matrix display.
Exactly, which allowed for, much more complex animations and scoring and all that.
Revolutionized pinball.
Yeah. So in a way, Riverboat Gambler represents this kind of turning point in pinball design.
Interesting, yeah. And if we think about that in the broader context of gaming history, you see this kind of transition happening across different formats, this move towards more sophisticated digital interfaces.
Right.
So Riverboat Gambler really stands as a testament to the ingenuity and the creativity that was possible within that, more traditional electromechanical pinball framework.
Yeah, it's a snapshot of a specific era in pinball.
A piece of history.
So to kind of wrap things up, or deep dive into Riverboat Gambler,
Yeah.
it really was a machine that pulled off something special.
It did.
It managed to successfully fuse the fast-paced action of pinball with the thrill and the chance of casino games.
Yeah, and what's impressive is that it managed to appeal to both the skill-based pinball enthusiast and the player who might be more drawn to, the strategy and luck of gambling.
Absolutely.
Bridge the gap.
And so now we want to hear from, did you ever have a chance to play Riverboat Gambler back in the day?
Yeah. What are your memories of this machine?
Any high scores? Any lucky roulette spins that stick in your mind?
Share your stories.
Head over to the comments and let us know.
You know what I always find interesting is how our individual encounters with games really shape our appreciation for them.
Yeah, it adds a whole other dimension to their history.
So hearing those personal anecdotes, it enriches our understanding of a machine like Riverboat Gambler.
Absolutely, and if you've never had the chance to play yourself, we highly recommend seeking it out.
Yeah, see if you can find it.
You might find it in a retro arcade or even on a digital pinball simulator.
There are some great simulators out there.
There are. So yeah, it's a fascinating piece of pinball history. Definitely worth checking out.
Thinking about the enduring appeal of Riverboat Gambler, it really makes you consider that ongoing fascination we have with games that blend different forms of entertainment and that element of chance, you know? It makes you wonder, what other games have successfully pulled off that fusion, and why is it that combination continues to captivate us?
Yeah, the great question to ponder.
It is.
A lot to think about there.
For sure.
Well, until next time, happy flipping, everyone.
Keep those flippers hot.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.